Hello, Mena. I'm very sorry if I didn't quite pronounce that right. Could you give a short introduction about yourself?
Okay, my name is Mena. Mena actually means my mother. My dad named me after his mother. So in our dialect, that means my mother Sewa. So I'm 34 years
Okay.
old. I live in Accra, Ghana, in West Africa. I have a beautiful 9-year-old daughter. And also I run an online business where I sell mostly on my Instagram and on my website. Yes.
Okay. A 9-year-old daughter. Congratulations. That's great to hear.
Thank you.
And so, how is it like being a young parent, working, doing an online business? And how did you start that online business as well?
Actually, I started when I had my daughter. Before that, I was working with a company where we used to give samples of Red Bull. We drove the small Mini Cooper around to give free samples. I was working with them for a bit, and then after I got pregnant with my daughter, I stopped working totally. So
Hmm.
my ex-husband then he was the one supporting us. And I had this idea of, picking pictures from the internet, things that we don't have here, and kind of bringing them in to sell them. So that's how I started. I started really small, and then I built
Hmm.
it, over the years. So it's been about 8 years now since I started, actually. Being a young woman, it's really not easy. You need to, especially with my niche, you need to always be alert, for trendy things. You need to always, be on your toes looking for new things to sell. But this business actually has sustained me over the years. This is what I have, relied on to take care of myself, my family.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And is it something the real world has helped you with, or did you get into something else after joining the real world?
Oh, no, actually, what led me into the real world is after I had a couple of, issues after my divorce. I was going on a downward spiral. I was about to give up. I couldn't come up with ideas, especially with my line of work. You always have to be creative, bring new things. People want to see me wearing them. And I knew this, but I wasn't really bothered about it. I know that if I wear a product, it sells. But if I don't feel like putting myself out there, I don't really
Hmm.
bother. So I got to a point, I think it was in May this year, actually. It was on Mother's Day. I was trying to promote one of my products. It was a convenience bag. And I tried to direct it towards mothers to do a promotion, to try to sell it. And it just wasn't working. I knew I had the idea. I didn't know how to talk to camera. I didn't know how I would edit it. I spent like 4 hours on that video and I couldn't get any final results. And the day was over. I was so mad. I went to bed upset. So my boyfriend saw me and he was like, "There's something I need to show you, but now you're not in the mood. So let's make it in the morning." So next morning, because he knows he doesn't have to try it.
Hmm.
So next morning he came, he opened the platform, and then he was like, and I know he's been following Tate for many years now, and I could see the transformation in him. He quit so many old habits. He stopped drinking, and he was shaping himself into like a mature, responsible man. And I really admire him for that. So I was like, okay, let's see what you can help me with. So he showed me a preview of the content creation conference. It was UGC then. He showed me a preview and I saw Pope, giving the lineup of what they are going to teach. I was like, okay, where do I sign up? Because I was stuck. I just, I was stuck. All my ideas, I have a note full of ideas, but just executing them was a big problem, I know I'm fluent. I know I have the market. I know there are people who are waiting to buy. I just have to create the content and put it out there. But I didn't know how. So after I joined, he downloaded the app for me. I subscribed, and then I just started the course, first course. Boom, boom, boom. I was on it every day. And every day since then, I always log in on the platform every single day. I
Okay.
never missed a day. And yeah, that's
Very
it's been
interesting.
one hell of a journey. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So let's go with how much did you learn then from the content creation campus? How much has it helped your business then?
Okay, so with regards to my business, it's a little bit different over here in Ghana. You have to build trust with people. You have to gain their trust because we deal mostly with cash and e-money and stuff like this. So before someone makes a purchase, if they don't know you, it's hard. It's hard.
Mhm.
So I've been trying to, keep up with it over the years, just try to still be trendy. And I'm not young, I'm 34. There's so many things I couldn't do. I didn't know how to use CapCut. I didn't even know the meaning of UGC when I joined the campus. I had to
Mhm.
Google it. Yeah. So
Mhm.
it was so many things. So and what I loved about the real world was I had signed up for so many courses before, paying $300 for nothing. And in the end, I realized they are teaching the same thing that I know. So I end up not gaining any knowledge from it. At some point, I just gave up whatever that I'm able to get off of YouTube. I just take it. So when I joined and they were teaching camera basics, it's like from scratch. I was shocked. I was like, okay. So, and you actually have to put in the practice. You can be interested in joining the platform, all right. But when it comes to putting in the work, that is where the money is. If you don't put in the work, if you don't practice, you won't get it. It would be like watching Netflix. You're
Mhm.
wasting your money for a subscription. You have to put in the work. So with my online business, for instance, it's like a playground for me. I'm free to create, and I've built it in such a way that my niche is not limited. I can sell whatever I want to sell, from women's stuff to men's stuff. Whatever I want to sell, I can bring it and I make it work.
Mhm.
So I started practicing, talking to camera, doing how to, all the assignments that we were given. I pick a product and I have physical stock. So I walk in my storeroom, I see, okay, I have a lot of this. What can I do? So I get creative with it. Okay, this I have to portray how it's used, from the customer's angle. How can I do that? Okay, she would wear it with this, she would wear it with that, this outfit. Just try to show that, put two products together, two products which are not moving, let it complement each other. And it worked like magic. They want to see you use the product.
Mhm.
This is what I was missing. This is what I was missing. I was doing videos over and over. Some are okay, some are not. And now, if you visit my social media platforms, my business platforms, you can see the dramatic change from 1 month ago. The kind of videos I was doing then and the kind of videos I'm doing now. And I actually have people like coming to me saying like, wow, your content creation skills just went off the roof. And this is me just practicing.
Mhm.
I'm practicing and I get to make money off of it. Why not?
Mhm.
Why not?
And it seems it's
Yeah.
a skill that definitely suits you very well because just from the brief conversation we've had now, you seem to be a very creative, expressive, free and kind of person. So yeah, it's great to hear that
Yes.
you found that niche to yourself that is working for you.
Yes. Yes.
And how
Yes.
much money has it made you then in that time that you joined the real world?
I've made yeah, I've made about $1,000 in 1 month from the videos I have been creating to use to push my products. There's a lot of products that I had left in stock that I have been able to get rid of using these same techniques that I spoke about earlier from the user's angle, you know,
Mhm.
because I realized that even though a lot of people know me, I know a lot of people, I have the platform, but they are just there. If you don't provide good content, you're not the only one selling. There is a lot of other people selling. If somebody does something different, you lose the customer. They might not come back, and I can't keep sitting in my comfort zone and just be complacent. I have to learn. I have to build knowledge. And when I joined the platform, I didn't even know I could edit on a laptop. Like as in me, I didn't even know how to use Excel.
Hmm.
If you gave me an Excel worksheet, I won't be able to figure it out. But now I'm using all the apps to edit on my computer, and also I'm working on this outreach, the clients that I landed. I'm also experimenting with that. It's a totally different niche, but I love a good challenge. So
Right, right, right.
yeah.
Okay. And what is the average wage in Ghana for perspective?
The average wage in Ghana is about $50 a month.
Wow.
That is if you are lucky enough.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So, how much of a difference does the 1,000 make to your lifestyle in Ghana?
A huge difference. A huge difference. Because first off, I'm more like a single mother. I have a child to take care of. It's not easy. And at
Hmm.
the same time, I have my business to run. I have two girls that I work with. I pay their salaries. I also have two bike riders, because here the bike riding is super easy. They are fast, they can deliver, take cash, come back, do accounts. So in a day, on a good day, I should have about 40 different packages going out on a good day.
Hmm.
So with all these people I work with, they all depend on me, you know. So I had there's a man I've been working with for 5 years. He's an older man. He has a family. The packages he's delivering, the evening's dinner depends on that. So I have to work. I have to make
Hmm.
sure that he's able to put food on the table for his family. And the other two girls that I work with, they also help me in responding to messages, because we also take orders via DM and on other social media platforms. So they work around the clock, replying messages, taking orders. So if I don't put in the content, all these people don't get to eat.
Hmm.
So I have to show up every day
Right.
and do my best.
Sure. And
Yeah,
you're still showing a very expressive spirit, even though there's quite a bit of responsibility on your shoulders. So it seems, yeah, you can
yeah,
definitely handle a lot, which is great to see.
yeah,
And
yes.
how different is your average day now then compared to before you joined the real world? Because you said you had gone through a divorce and that was quite difficult for you. At some point, you were
Yes,
thinking of even giving up. But yeah, how has that changed since?
yes. Whew. It was quite tough. It was throughout the years. I haven't even applied for a job in about 10 years. So in the beginning of the marriage, I was dependent on him. So when things started going south, I realized I'm just sitting there. I'm not working. Like, it doesn't sit right with me. I have to do something. So when I started the online business with what I know, and I already had a bit of background in the fashion industry, I was growing up. I was hustling. When
Mhm.
I went to get my diploma, I spent 3 years in another city on my own. My parents literally just dropped me there. I was 18. So when I started, coming where I am coming from, my parents are really average working Ghanaians. They are both retired teachers now. So they had average salary. We are about four girls. They have to take care of all of us. It wasn't so easy on my parents. We ended up living with family members in different places. My sisters all grew up differently. So I didn't want to put a lot of burden on my mother, because I knew she was the one everything fell on. So when I went to school, I started doing little things here and there to pay my fees, buy my food, take care of myself. So I started selling SIM cards on the streets. I joined one of these networks. I started selling SIM cards for like it's 1 city here. It was new. They needed people. So whatever they needed me to do, if you want me to come dance on the track, I'll come dance on the track. Just pay me, let me go. Because I had this mindset that I wasn't going to sleep with anyone for money if I can work for it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So if there's a job and you take me, then I'll do it. So I was doing that together with studying. Yeah, I was on my own trying to help my mom out. So everyone had this idea that, I'm a tough girl. I have my own thing going growing up. Nobody really, I care. I am the one who care about people. Nobody really worries if you're okay or not. So throughout, anyway, sorry, back to the divorce. Throughout the whole marriage, I tried to do something off of it, try to stand on my own, try to fill in the shoes where he couldn't. But it became like a norm. So I became used to it. I became filling in the shoes of the man, which wasn't necessarily what I had signed up for, And now I have brought a daughter into the world. I'm responsible for her. And it was becoming a toxic environment for her. And I was seeing patterns of what happened with my parents' marriage that I ended up living with my aunt and I ended up having to be on my own. So it wasn't something I wanted for my daughter
Mhm.
at all. So I was trying to protect her I was trying to provide a family for her and all this, but within a toxic environment. So we're like, why are you still here? I was doing her more harm than good. So I decided to leave, and that was about 3 years ago. And I just got the divorce finalized. Actually, it's been 3 years of a battle. But during that time, I wasn't in the right mental space to continue with the online business. I wanted to stop and then just find a job or whatever to keep me going. I had mouths to feed. So during this time when I had almost given up, I met my current boyfriend now. And he I knew he was talking about Tate. He was like, there's this guy who thinks just like me. And I was like, okay, I check him out. And then later my whole algorithm became like Tate, 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 Tate. We talked about him a lot. So when it, he's always like part of the relationship. When the new campus opened and he saw it, he was like, "Oh my God, this is the perfect fit for Ivy. This is a perfect fit, a perfect fit." And I was bothering him with questions like, "Okay, what do I have to do? How do I navigate? How do I do this? How do I submit this? I've done this." And he was shocked because I actually took to it and I was doing videos back to back to back. And he's my best critique. He takes a look at it because he had been in the affiliate marketing campus and the e-com campus actually. So now what we are doing now is we are trying to build something with the knowledge we have both acquired from the real world. What he has learned from the e-com campus, affiliate marketing, and what I am learning now from the CC campus. I'm still learning. So with this, we can team up and do outreaches and then do content creating videos for other companies. And we are working on.
Mhm. Wow. It's great to see that lives are being changed by the real world.
Yeah, it's crazy. And also when I joined the real world, I saw there's a lot of workouts, because it's mostly men. So I wanted something that will suit me perfectly, but I'm still healthy and I still get to spend time with myself. So I had been on a path, on my own awakening path. And it's crazy how one thing leads to the other. And then it led me straight to the real world. It
Mhm.
led me straight to the real world. And there are people on the platform that I can actually relate to. They understand your language. You don't feel like you're alone. You
Mhm.
don't feel like you're going crazy or like you're weird or anything like that. And I've actually built a relationship with some of them. They're like my big brothers. They're like my big brothers, Seth,
Mhm.
Chris, Kaiser, all those people in the group. So what actually sparked my real interest was I was just on a platform, just hanging around reading people's messages. And then I saw that Pope sent something about a bounty. And if you're a sheep and there's so I was if anyone is available, just comment and one of the captains is around. So I was like, okay, I'm available. I just sent it. And then Seth hit me up the same day we were on Telegram. We had things in motion, I was ready to work. And since then, they have become like my family. Yeah. If I create videos and I'm facing any difficulties, I can ask any of them for their honest opinion. And then I do the corrections and then I put it up. It's been super, super helpful.
That's beautiful. Again, love to hear that. And so, what would you say was the biggest challenge you faced when you were first starting out with content creation?
Okay, so I did have a couple of ideas, but the biggest challenge I faced was executing them. I didn't know there was a way you could actually like structure a video to be able to get people to, interact with it. And I also didn't know basic camera skills. I didn't know how to edit, nothing. But and now I can edit on CapCut in my sleep. I learned so many little things, and my whole routine has changed. My whole daily routine has changed, and I think it's for the better. You can lead. We have a saying that you can lead a horse to the water, but you cannot force him to drink it. If you can make your way into the real world, you need to put in the work. You need to put in the work, and if you do put in the work, I guarantee you that you're going to get results. You are going to get results, and they are teaching us everything from basics. So even for someone like me who couldn't really use an Excel book sheet, if I went according to everything that was taught, and I learned it, and I kept practicing over and over, correcting my mistakes, and I'm still doing that now. you know
Mhm.
and with this I can help the people around me. I need to, step up and be in a position where if any of these people around me come to me for help, I'm in a position to help them, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it seems you've taken on a lot of responsibility from even 10 years ago, longer, onto your shoulders. And it's always been you helping other people and not really expecting anything in return. But you still seem to be such a, as I was saying, a very happy individual, very expressive, everything. So what do you think creates that mindset? Because I think other people, let's say, going through what you went through, maybe if they were in a different environment, maybe they're in America, and I think a lot of people become bitter after having gone through that. So, what do you think it is that still keeps you happy, even, yeah, again, after having gone through all
Yes. Honestly, it's about how authentic I am in portraying my products, to my clientele or like to my target audience. You need to carry yourself in such a way that people will be able to relate to you as a person, as a human being. And I think if I had, well, my platform here is not that big, but if I had a platform, say in the US with such a huge audience, I think I'll totally kill it. I'm doing the most that I can with what I have here because over here, the thing is, it's a gradual process. People are not used to even shopping on a website. It takes a lot to convince someone to actually buy from your website when they don't know you, you know. So if you are able to build this rapport with your customers, and this is through content creation, you make it so interactive that they are able to, you are a brand. You are a brand. So if you're able to carry yourself well and joining the real world, I was um what I was trying to do to be more authentic was to be in tune with myself. I meditate twice a day. Before I go to bed, I make sure I'm okay. I take care of everybody else. Like you said, I've taken so much responsibility on me, but I need to take care of myself. So when I wake up in the morning, let's say I wake up at 5. Previously, I knew my daughter would go to school at 7. I wake up at 6:45. As soon as she's out the door and into the bus, I'm back in bed. I'm sleeping. I didn't
that?
really care about it if the business is going well or not. And I was getting complacent, like I said. I had to get up and do something, but I didn't know what the missing piece was until I joined the real world. Then everything just started to come into place, and I am just getting started. I'm just getting started. So I know there's so much potential
Right.
that is unexplored at this point, and I am absolutely looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've only been in the real world for a month, so you really are just getting started. And since you're on this trajectory now, where do you see your life heading in the short term, medium term, long term?
Okay, so in the short term, as I mentioned earlier, we are building a project, my boyfriend and I. So I'm really hopeful because my speaking to camera skills and the way I carry myself, it is my brand. So what can I do with this brand, to also make me money? So if I can, he is very good in the e-commerce section, and then he can also help. So if we put all these videos together, we can easily land clients. And this is exactly what we are being taught, the strategies, outreaching, creating content for these companies. And in return, they are making profits. You don't know what avenues can open for you throughout these things. So everything that I do, I give it my 1000%. So in the short term, currently, this is what we are working on now. And I've also landed a client. They are into kitchenware and stuff. It's also very different from my niche, but I am learning. I started on Monday. I'm working together with their social media and their marketing teams, and I am creating user generated content for them. So I go in, I make a couple of videos. Sometimes I have to take the items to maybe home in my kitchen to show them. I have so many ideas, and I can't wait to, help them. Also, it's a new brand. So if it's a new brand and I'm coming in, initially I didn't go in for this brand. I went in for electronic gadgets. So before, I did I only sent one email actually. I know a lot of people blast out emails and they get maybe one response, but I studied this company. I did my research to find out the loopholes, what they are missing. I went to their Instagram. I spent hours on their website to try to figure out what is missing so that I know what to provide them, that they won't say no. It's all about what's in it for them anyway.
Mhm.
So I tailored my email to this electronic company specifically.
Mhm.
Then I got a reply almost about an hour later for me to come in so that we in person. So I also picked the company that is so close to me so that I don't have to be going across the city to work. You have to consider all these things and be smart about it. You don't have to spend so much on transportation and fuel.
Mhm.
So I went into the office, we spoke, and then they told me, okay, sorry, but we already have a team here. I was on the verge of crying, man.
Yeah.
We already have a
Throughout
team
that
here. They are
time.
professional about what they do and stuff. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll be looking forward to work with you in the future. So we are talking, and then someone walks in and he said, we have a sister company though, but they sell kitchenware. We don't know if you'd be interested in that, but they are new and there's already a team. As soon as I left that office, I went to that sister company to check it out. I went there. I went there to have a feel of the place because I am someone who I visualize a lot, and if I'm manifesting something, I need to have the full picture. I want to go there, have a feel of the place. So I went there. I did my thing. I did my manifestations, and I was ready to put in the work. I followed up the next day. I went to the office. They told me, okay, we can't pay you this much because we are new, but we are willing to offer this. If you take it, then we can start the beginning of July. I said, okay. I signed up for it. So they are willing to pay me $200 a month for 3 months, a period of 3 months. And if I still want to stay after that, they offered me that, and I also get 5% commission off on the sales that comes in from my UGC videos.
Mhm.
So I have to put in a lot of content that will generate sales to be able to make money also. And I think this is it's a pretty good deal for a start. So in the short term, this is what I'm planning on doing. I'll be outreaching to other companies whilst I'm working with them. And then in midterm, I want to work on my personal brand because my personal business is also how people interact with me, people know what I'm doing, and I want to work on my personal brand and also be able to work with as many companies as possible, both here and also those who are outside of the country. I would love to. And with also the long term, we as Ghanaians, we have certain type of traditional beliefs where if you're a woman, you don't have to, strive for so much. But with me personally, at my current age, I'm really bent on helping people because what what I have gotten from life and what all my experiences have led me to. Whenever I have an interaction with someone, say someone comes work with me, and I like the person, we have a good relationship, the person becomes family. They stick around for long. And I have so many people around me like this. But the girls who are currently working with me now, the very first one came in as a nanny when my daughter was small. And I saw she's a high school, she just finished high school. Her parents don't have much. So I told her, okay, just stay and work with me. You can do packages and all these things. And after some time, she left after some years. And the second nanny who came in, I taught her the same thing because my daughter was growing. She didn't need a nanny, and I'm paying you for being in my house and not taking care of her. I'll give you a job and I'll give you a salary if you can help me to take off some work off of my shoulders. I can have time for my child. I can have time to do other things. So this is how it stays, and they've been with me for 5 years. For
Mhm.
5 years now. So in the long term, I want all the people around me to be okay. And with especially with our traditional values, let me come back to that. Our traditional values and my whole divorce process. I come from a very religious family. My family is top on the list Christians. And at some point, I had questions, you know, about my religion, about where I come from, my roots, and there were no answers, so I started researching for myself, and then it leads me to this, and it will lead me to that, and it will lead me to that, and it helped me through all those times to continue being strong, just for me, just for my own sake. I had to find a place that I always come to. I had to be centered to be able to keep my sanity. I'm raising a young woman, she looks up to me. All those people around me, they look up to me. I cannot fail them in any way. And if I have enough to take care of everyone around me, help them to grow as a person, and also do as much as I can to get them out of the matrix, then of course I will be happy to do that. But in the long run, I also want to help upcoming women, those who are now starting how to do an online business. If I have been in it for 8 years and I'm still in it, I think I qualify to give some advice on how to grow it. I plan on reaching out and helping them, and also incorporating mental health awareness into all of that. If you are a woman, it doesn't mean you have to just sit and watch your husband will bring in the money all the time. Sometimes you need something just for you. You need something just for you, and you can have this as a side hustle. If this has been able to sustain me for 8 years, and I've been able to fill in my man's place when he couldn't, and if I can do it here in the middle of Africa, just I was born and bred here. I didn't get any schooling from anywhere. I was born and bred here with average, a very average lifestyle. And at some point, I just got tired of average. You know, I wanted something better for my daughter.
Mhm.
And the real world is keeping me grounded in that, because I know where I'm coming from, you know, so I know exactly where I'm headed.
Right, right. It's again, it's very beautiful to hear that you're building up a community, a family that's all centered, that all begins from you. You're helping so many people around you, and you still have a lot of ambition to help even more in future. So I love speaking to people like you, hearing everything you're doing and your all the ambition and just in general. I mean, I've said this already so many times, but you seem to be such a great person. So it's been amazing to hear your story. And I'm just wondering, since you found another company nearby, is it viable for you to instead be looking for clients internationally? To maybe then they can ship a product to you that you can then advertise? Or is that something you've looked to do but weren't able to?
I've actually thought about doing that. I haven't started outreaching to companies outside the country yet, because I need to set up a certain payment system, and this in the country where in Ghana where I am right now, it's a bit hard to do. So in the long term, I am looking to help other women, and not just women, other both men and women coming up. And if I'm able to work with a lot of international companies, I can have people under me that are also working with me in content creation. Of course, I plan to help people to learn it in, because I have learned it in the easiest way possible. And if I can learn it, then anyone else can. And even with my, before I joined the real world, I had certain wholesale packages that I was giving out to people just to help them to start something. Doesn't matter how small it is, you can have something to start. And there are a few people that I've actually helped along the way, and now they are actually quite established. They have a physical shop where they sell their things, and I don't even have a physical shop. So it makes me happy to see them coming up in their own ways. They have a bike that's doing deliveries for them, and over here, that is what the business is now. And as soon as I have everything set up, I will start doing international outreaches, because I know that by then I would have had everything perfect to a T. I
Hmm.
can work with skin brands, I can work with female brands, I can work with, you know, whatever comes up. I am open and I am willing to put in the work.
Hmm. Then yeah, that will give you a lot more resources to work with because you'll be getting an international salary in Ghana. So yeah, there's so many people, as you're saying, you can employ, bring into it, and then again, even expand your community even more. So yeah, your family.
Yes. Oh my God, that would be so nice.
So I look forward to hearing your progress with that. When we do a follow up, it would be nice to do a follow up every 3 months or so, if you'll be willing, just to check in how you're doing, giving us an update on how everything is scaling for you. And I'd like to know, so as a woman, what kind of opinion do you have on Tate now? Because as you see in the media, it's being said that he's a misogynist, he's anti-women, and all those sort of things. So, what has been your experience and your opinion of it?
I know. Okay, so from a totally unbiased, my boyfriend was in the AFM campus. He still is. He still edits Tate's videos. I didn't even think there was a day he would be. Believe me, when I met him, he couldn't even take a selfie. He couldn't even take a selfie. Now he's editing videos, cutting them here and there, correcting me. Correcting me. Don't do this, don't do that. Don't put this here, don't put it there. This is too long. You don't need this. He's always there helping. And whenever he wants to put up a Tate video, he shows it to me first. And then he calls himself Mr. Producer. Also, I don't know what it is. So he shows it to me. So I look at it and then I can see what he does. He watches Tate's content and he takes what resonates with him and how he can use that in his life, and that's what he puts out there, because he wants to use this medium to be able to get to someone like him, the same way Tate was able to get to him, because he had so many things in common with Tate. So when I first met him, he was different, different energy, totally different culture. And I was like, okay, he had a certain masculinity about him. So that was even before he even met Tate. So we even knew about Tate. So when he discovered Tate, he kept going deeper and deeper into it. And then I realized that thing was also missing from my life. That kind of masculine presence where, no, I wouldn't say control, but where there's actually a man in charge in the home. And I realized that is what I had been after the whole time I stayed in my marriage, my previous marriage. I was looking for all those things that was missing in my life growing up, like a father figure. Or my dad was in the picture, but I never really lived in a family where the dad is there, the mom is there, and we sit down to eat and all these things. It wasn't like that. That's what I was looking for my daughter. I wanted a replacement for her so that she doesn't have to go through the same experiences that I went through. So when I met him at first, I was like, he has. And then I realized he was growing from one phase to the other. And it got to a point where I was watching the Tate videos with him, and I agreed with so many things on. It's on a certain level of understanding that if you don't have certain insights in life, if you haven't experienced certain things, you will not understand anything that Andrew is saying. Believe me, you have to have the experience and to be able to understand what he's saying. And we have been programmed in such a way that we believe everything that is fed to us, and that is totally sad. We don't question anything. We don't question anything, especially here in Africa. There are men with masculine mindset. Here, a man is a man. You don't disrespect a man. So over here, it's a bit easy. It's normal for us. It's a very natural thing for you to respect a man. There are certain things you don't say to a man. There are certain ways, body language, that you communicate to a man to show that you respect him. So it wasn't something so hard. And when I first saw Tate's video, he had very similar things to my dad. That is what, made me put all of my attention on his content. He spoke from the man's point of view, and speaking from a man's point of view to make a woman understand, that is quite hard. That's quite hard because we don't listen. We don't listen. So I like Tate. I like his fighting spirit. When all these things started happening, they started painting him so black. I could not believe my eyes. This man is helping thousands of young men get back on their feet, and I have seen it firsthand. I have seen it firsthand. My boyfriend stopped drinking. He works out every single day. He's always doing something. He's always doing something. He's always looking for avenues, looking for business ideas and opportunities. And he sits down with me and he talks about them with me. This is a man you can build a future with. This is a man you can build a future with. And Tate has influenced him so much. He has become so responsible. He has become so mature compared to when I first saw him. And I think I'm kind of confident that he's the right person to raise my kids if God blesses us with Amy. I wouldn't choose any other person. And if this isn't enough influence in my life, then I don't know what is. And I can't wait to see what we can make of this. And he also shares the same beliefs as me. So I don't think it's going to be that hard. We are about to build an empire. We are about to build a big family business.
Good, good, good. Man, that was so awesome to listen to, Mena. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that story. Thank you for sharing those experiences. Again, almost bringing tears to my eyes. Just, I love hearing stories like yours. Thank you. And yeah, it's great to hear for sure, the impact that Tay has had on so many people at this point that I listen to, how much he's changed their lives. And from you as well, you're saying he's changed your boyfriend, he's changed you, and now who knows how much that will change future generations, because that will have an impact on your daughter. Then your daughter will raise kids, and it's just following down. So yeah, again, beautiful to hear.
Right, yes. And sorry, I don't mean to
Mhm.
cut in. Yes. With all the things that I am also learning with him, what we plan to do in the long term is, here there's a lot of young people, young men with no jobs. They end up falling into the wrong traps. The people that we can take in, if we can teach them most of the things that we have learned to improve ourselves, being it fitness, being it content creation, whatever it is, if we are able to teach them this, and even if they don't work with us in the long term, they're able to establish something for themselves. That's a win. That's a win for both of us. And I hope that God will equip us with everything that we need to be able to complete this. And then also, we've had plans for an NGO here, the village where I come from. I was born in the Eastern region in Pipiase. I will want to go back home. I want to go back home and see what I can do for the people over there. I've always thought about it. And one day when I have the chance, I would love to do that and see what I can also help to contribute to the community. You're not just helping them financially. If you're able to provide some value, let them sit down, take a look at their lives and see what they can do to make it better. And you figure out how you can help.
Mhm.
That's what this life is all about.
Wow. I wonder if Pope would have imagined that something like this would be happening. Like someone in Ghana learned from his lessons, then
I
they're teaching it to their
know.
community, and
I
everyone would become
know.
content creators in that community because of it. So yeah,
Right,
it's quite
right.
something.
I know. It's amazing. And Pope, I'm always listening to, but instead of us watching Netflix, we are listening to Pop's AMA. So everyone in the real world, and I keep mentioning, oh, today this guy said this. It was so funny, and everybody knows who. Even my daughter knows who Ellie G is and who this is. I love it. I've never really had brothers growing up, so it's amazing.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy to end it there. For my final
Yes.
question, for people who are unsure about joining the real world because they're thinking maybe it could be a scam for the $50, what advice would you have to them?
Okay, so if you're wondering if the juice is worth the squeeze, it is absolutely worth the squeeze. At this point, I think we owe the professors because for this wealth of information, the $50 is it's not even enough. For me, the $50 is not enough. You can't find this wealth of knowledge on any platform. If I hadn't come to the real world, I didn't even know it could be broken down into such basics to the level of understanding of someone like me with just an iPhone to record, for instance. And I had to incorporate so many things that I was learning, both on the content creation campus and the other campuses. Once in a while, I pop in there to learn to correct all the mistakes that I was doing on my website. This is just like an extra bonus for me. I went in for the content creation, but there's so many things you can learn and pick from other places that you can incorporate in your business to build it. And I found this in the real world. And for $50, I think they should be charging more.
Mhm. I hear
Yeah,
that a lot from people. They
yeah,
think it should be charged more. But again, it gives access to people anywhere in the world. That's the beauty of
yes,
it for $50.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's the beauty of it. Yes,
Okay. So thank you again for sharing all your insights, everything, your experiences, your story.
absolutely.
For people who want to find out more about you or contact you, where can they do so?
Okay, I'm on Instagram as Menasewa, one word, Menaserwaa. I'm on Instagram as Menasewa. I'm on TikTok as Menasewa. I'm on YouTube as Menasewa, the same name. Anyone can reach out to me. I am open and I am willing to work, whatever it is.
Perfect. So yeah, we'll add
Yes,
those to the description of the video. Anyone
yes,
interested, please check that.
sure.
And Mena, I look forward to
Thank
hearing
you.
all the progress you make in the next 3 months and doing the
Yeah.
update then. And until then, I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Absolutely. I look forward to sharing with you, Focus. Thank you.